Thanks so much.
Okay, I'm going to officially kick it off. So, you know what? I'm going to start with you, Todd, because you're sitting here.
Okay.
Todd, please tell us, what does your art mean to you?
I guess, well, thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you guys for being here. This is a beautiful thing to pull off, Cherie. Thank you. I don't have a perfect response or anything prepared, so forgive me if I ramble a bit. But I think, for me personally, my own benefit is it's given me a purpose. You know? Yeah, this is how I define my worth, what I'm able to achieve. It constantly gives me new challenges, some of them self-manufactured, which I'm, been able to overcome at times, which feels really great. And I think in a broader sense, at the risk of like some sort of self-importance, I do believe we're a net positive to society and what we do here, our time that we have here. And I think that, working with Aaron and Jorge and what we've been able to do with the Love Electric, I think we've been able to create relationships, conscience, joy that wouldn't have existed if we weren't out there trying to do this, finding different ways to do it. And that's, I guess, again, gives me a sense of importance and a reason to be here doing things, doing what I can. So that's what I got on that.
Hello. Can you hear me, everybody? Aquí está bien. ¿Todo el mundo entiende español? ¿Sí? Bueno, pues muchas gracias por su asistencia y pues ustedes se preguntarán acerca del trabajo que están viendo aquí. Esta es una exposición experimental en la que dejé correr el subconsciente y lo que salió fue muy rápido, muy espontáneo y así resultó. No es exactamente lo que produzco normalmente, la misma cosa, ¿no? Pero fue una experiencia que yo la llamé arte bruto, ¿no? Brutalist painting, algo así. Entonces, pues son manifestaciones casi inconscientes, automáticas. Lo que están viendo en las pantallas y lo que está colgado es una parte de la exposición completa. Fueron 50 óleos pintados en un mes, más o menos. Sí. Pero, pues, el resultado es lo que importa, ¿no? Fue un experimento que poco a poco me hizo reconocer últimamente que sí hay una relación de lo demás que yo produzco con este tipo de manifestación libre. Entonces, estoy ahorita metido en eso, pero no por eso dejo de enseñar, dar clases y seguir trabajando. Así que, pues para mí es un honor estar aquí con estos fabulosos músicos y con un público tan atento a todo esto.
Tell me about what you do, Jorge. Why do you do this? Why are you up here playing drums, running around the world, doing crazy stuff?
It's just fun. I do this because I want to express like my the way I live, the things I know this sounds a bit like a very common response to why do you make art, why do you play music, but it's honestly that's why I do it. Like I play music because there's something inside me that I don't know if I want to show it to you, but I just have to take it out of me. and I think that's a beautiful common. I don't know if that's common, but a beautiful relation between all art. Like these paintings are just beautiful, you know. And he talks about subconscious and whatever he didn't think he had on his self, and suddenly this stuff came out, and that's somehow what happens when I make music. At least that's what I feel that happens, and it's interesting to see these relations between other artists and not only musicians but also painters or dancers, or like having these people who actually take risks, because this is not like your common, at least to me, like it's not like a very common thing to go and watch at a gallery, or it's just a different thing. He took risks and he's doing this specific thing, and it's not about doing things for people to like it, but it's more about just showing whatever that's in you. So that's nice.
Aaron, ¿quieres agregar algo?
Pues nada, bienvenidos por estar aquí. La mejor manera que tenemos de hablar es la música. En nuestro concepto de jazz brutalista, tomando un poco la idea del maestro pintor, que no es precisamente jazz, incluye la improvisación, pero incluye muchas otras músicas, y es lo que vamos a hacer. Esperemos les guste.
Nobody's ever told me that. No. People have told me that and I think that's very nice. Because Sting is a beautiful man. He is absolutely a beautiful person. So I like that. But then, as the years have gone on, somebody told me a couple weeks ago that I looked like a younger Quentin Tarantino. I didn't like that as much. I love Quentin Tarantino's work, his films, but so that was kind of a bummer, you know. Like, yeah.
I read recently that you were writing about your latest creation where you're making music for movies that have not yet been made. And I thought, wow, yeah, very, very cool. So please tell us a little bit about that if you can.
Thank you. Yeah, and thanks for checking that out, knowing about that. Yeah, it's a concept, a project that I have with this Mexican pianist, Alex Mercado, a great pianist from Mexico City, called Cinema Music for Unmade Film. And the idea is that, you know, the music could come first and then somebody could be inspired to make a film, which is just a fun concept, you know, to play with and flip things on its head. It really honestly started because I've always dreamed of composing more for film, but I never really got the call to do that. Sometimes I do now. Now I've gotten a few things. Maybe that was because of this, because I made music for unmade films. Now I can do it for made films. But that's really what I, you know, try to experiment with the relationship between image, story, narration, and sound and music, and think that it can be, one can inspire the other. You know, we don't always have to accompany, be inspired in the image. But I, just in general, in terms of composition and different projects, that we all work in many different projects, I like to work from a concept, you know. This band, the concept is no specific concept, which sounds ridiculous, but we don't necessarily, you know, we started being an instrumental band, kind of a jazz band, and that really wasn't our voice. It's really not my voice, and it really wasn't our collective voice. So we started to have some song in there, and then during the pandemic, I moved to Guerrero, this little place called Playa Saladita. Met my partner there. He's a professional surfer, so my whole life became about surf. I said, okay, we're going to compose surf music, and that's the most recent chapter of the band. So we, you know, the music that we're making, that we can continue to make, is relevant to our lives now that we're living, which is nice, and it keeps us doing it. It keeps us involved in what we're doing, and I think that's, you know, the joke that we always say is that's been the joy of never having like a massive success or hit, is we're not slaves to that, you know. If you have no hits, you don't have to play them. We can just keep reinventing ourselves all the time. So, yeah, that's a little bit about this band.
I'm going to say it in English first, and then I'll ask him directly in Spanish. And he's bilingual, so he can do both. Queremos escuchar la respuesta en dos. No, lo hacemos. So I've had the honor of being at his studio and home and I've seen his other work. We're fans of his work. I just want to understand a little better what was the inspiration for this so out of the usual. So, he visto su colección, he visto su trabajo en su casa, en su taller, y quisiera saber cuál fue la inspiración para este trabajo tan diferente.
Pues no fue ninguna inspiración, fue solamente ponerme a usar los colores que había enfrente, con los instrumentos que había enfrente, sin pensar nada, y así fueron saliendo, y fue muy espontáneo. Era como si yo no estuviera pintando, porque no es lo que usualmente pinto. Entonces fue una experiencia que quería compartir, porque pues ahora que lo veo con calma me estoy dando cuenta de que sí hay una relación entre lo que hago normalmente y esa expresión loca, ¿no? Bruta. Entonces, pues eso creo que es la experiencia con esta exposición.
Muchísimas gracias a todos. Thanks, chicos.